Hello, hello, everyone. This is Tammy Bronker, Sky Woman, beaming to you today with a December 2024 astrology oracle. And usually, when I do these, you'll know that I will begin, just because of the timing, with a new moon report. However, this time we're already almost a week into the month, and I chose today very deliberately, knowing that one of the big features of this month is happening today. We have Mars stationing retrograde. And so, just to give a little bit of an overview of what that's about, um, I'll just start by saying Mars will be retrograde from today, December 4th or 6th, until February 24th, 2025. So, this is a big window of time. And Mars represents the masculine principle, it carries the frequency of the masculine for us on this planet. As a sacred being, as carrying masculine holy medicine. And when a planet is stationing retrograde or direct, this is a very powerful moment for us to tune in to the original essence of that planetary body and really tune in and listen and ask, what is the original true nature of this sacred being? So, part of the intent today for me in sharing with you is to ask, who is this sacred being, Mars? And over the course of my speaking, over the course of our being here together, to really drop into that within our bodies, within our being, who is the sacred masculine? So that's the first area of inquiry, because we have this beautiful sacred being with us who's really, really very close to the earth and in this moment of transmission. And Mars will be in a kind of an incubation or a gestational phase during this entire retrograde period. And again, very deeply felt. So we get to feel the heart of the beloved masculine. And so let's just start there and really drop into what a gift this is for us in this moment where, as a humanity, as a species, we are so deeply needing. After many years, many of us have been doing beautiful work to rectify, to bring back into the consciousness the beloved divine feminine. And we've had so many women's circles and so much healing, and we've needed this, and we continue to need this. However, many have asked, why is it that with so much emphasis on bringing back and celebrating the feminine, that our world still has so much of a apparent imbalance? And I would offer, as would many others, that part of this is that we are also now needing to mend the heart of the masculine in this period where, through a time of patriarchy, the heart, the sensitivity, the an honoring and dignifying of the true nature of the masculine has been lost, perhaps even more deeply than the feminine. So this is part of what my intention is with our session today with this oracle, is to welcome and embrace the sacred masculine. And specifically, from the perspective of shamanic astrology, the training that I was most deeply trained in initially, the Mars cycle begins when Mars is opposite the sun and Mars becomes an evening star. And so that begins in the middle of January. In the middle of this retrograde cycle, Mars will oppose the sun in the sign of Cancer, beginning a new 2 year and 2 month Mars cycle. So basically, what that means is that we will have the nurturing aspect of the masculine on the world stage for the next 2 years and 2 months. And so, what that invitation is for all of us, whatever our gender, is to be a part of, to dream forward and engage with this healing of the sacred father medicine, the nourishing masculine, the one who deeply cares for community, the one who deeply cares for creating a space of guardianship for those who are most vulnerable and for our beloved Mother Earth. So, this is the invitation for us to collectively kind of sigh and breathe into and invite in and welcome the nourishing masculine. Let's very precisely and specifically invite in a society and a culture that honors the sensitivity in men's hearts and that honors the sacred father role and wants to create a space for men to take their place in growing and learning and evolving and loving the process of being a parent of a child or of a project or of an animal or of a community or of a new way of being on this beloved planet. So I just wanted to introduce that. And also, I'm speaking in a more soulful, soul-oriented way. And at the same time, we can do that. And we can also speak into what might feel more practical, more applicable in terms of the Mars cycle. And that is something that's probably been much more broadly spoken of, which is to say that if you're wanting to plan next year and you're wanting to really consider how it is that you could be a part of delivering your beauty, your gifts, your contribution next year, because we are certainly wanting to do that now with a lot of courage, boldness, bravery, and Mars carries those qualities, then many of us are considering that this Mars has the quality of forward momentum, of this penetrating action. And so while Mars is incubating and gestating for his new form, then it's time for us as well to be considering our strategy, to consider our plan, and that we might want to execute and really begin to take very directed action in late February. So we're planning for that now. We're planning our long game. And there are a couple of other things to consider with that, which is that Venus will appear as morning star near the beginning of April. So you might have almost two phases, right? So beginning, initiating something when Mars stations direct, and then a next phase of that when Venus appears as morning star. So that's just something in a practical sense to consider. So wanting to honor that, wanting to honor as well that Mars is stationing at 6 degrees Leo and some change. And that this means that Mars is stationing retrograde very close to the heart of the crab constellation, otherwise known as the beehive cluster or Precipice. And Precipice or the beehive cluster, well, Precipice literally, and the different names for this beautiful cluster of about 1,000 stars is understood to have to do with the quality of healthy boundaries. And one of the ways I like to think of healthy boundaries is to think of beehive cluster, to think of the quality of bees, and to think about the queen bee and the way that the queen bee is. And I actually have sometimes created guided meditations for this, where a person who wants to connect to Precipice or the beehive cluster can connect in to recognizing, you might consider, I recognize that I am queen bee of my hive, of my domain. And within this domain of this hive, that what happens is that the little bees all around me will travel out in all directions to gather whatever is the most beautiful nectar from the flowers all around. They will bring it back to me and we will make beauty out of it. We will make nourishment out of it in the beehive. And we are not going to be violent beings. There's no need for violence. Normally, this hive of bees are humming with a peaceful, harmonious, energetic all around me. However, if there is an actual threat, and if that threat literally invades my space, then yes, my bees will chase away that force, that invading force. So that's the way that healthy boundaries work. So normally we're humming with the vibration of peace. However, if there is an energy that comes in that does not serve, that is violating our field, we have every right to disperse and command away from our field whatever does not serve, right? Another way to look at Precipice is that it could be seen as or translating to manger. And my sense is that we many of us know whatever our tradition, but especially if we have a lineage in Christianity, even if we deeply honor this time as a time where we get to honor many sacred faiths. If we have that lineage of Christianity, or if we resonate with that among others, then we might recognize that at this turning of the age, part of what's happening is that the Christ light, the true Christ, is waking up within the collective humanity. And so what's in the manger? What is in the heart of the crab? Well, it's that light of the Christed intelligence, of that beautiful anointed spirit, where we each begin to recognize that we have the divine, the spark of God inside of us, and we begin to operate more from that place of the beautiful, sacred, overflowing heart. So that can be seen as the medicine of the masculine in this moment as well. So I just wanted to begin with that. And I wanted to say that this energy is permeating, is influencing the entire month. And so that's one layer. Also, 2 days ago, you may have seen her, Venus was conjunct the moon. The moon had met up with Venus in the sky. Beautiful little crescent moon, evening star, love goddess Venus. And in the stories of Inanna, the Sumerian goddess of heaven and earth, um, this is the moment in her story where the queen, who has descended to the underworlds and gone through a death and a rebirth process, as we have all gone through, that she has now been rising through the sky, and she's going through 7 gates to reclaim her powers that she had to relinquish when she went through her death rebirth process. So at every one of the 7 gates, they correspond to a chakra and a theme that's alive for the month. So Venus and the moon met on the night of December 4th at the throat chakra gate. And so this coming month, another sub theme is that the goddess is finding her voice. So the goddess is finding her voice. So even as a sacred holy masculine, we get to honor and cherish him as going through this beautiful rebirth portal himself, in a sense, or a gestation and incubation period that the goddess is going through as well, a period of coming into her power and full self-expression. So may each of us learn to express the feminine divine, because our world is needing that balance. And she's moving into Aquarius as well today. So the goddess is moving into this sign that has to do with liberation, has to do with freedom, has to do with uniqueness. Be who you are, speak your true voice, be authentic. So there's a beautiful energy that we are moving into. There's so much more that's happening this month, but I'm going to keep it simple this time. But I will just mention that there are actually 4 planets that are stationing direct this month. We have Mercury stationing direct as well on December 15th. It's retrograde right now, so also the mind of the divine is very much active. So we are in a reflective phase in terms of our ideas, our beliefs, all of that is being, excuse me, I'm gonna get in the light here a little bit more. So we've got Mercury retrograde as I speak, and then Mercury will be stationing direct at the Gemini full moon, December 15th. Then we're going to, of course, cross the portal of Winter Solstice. And then we're going to have Chiron and Neptune also stationing direct this month. So between Mars, Mercury, Chiron, and Neptune, 4 more planets are stationing direct. And so we will have more of the planets moving forward. Not all of them, but more of them are now moving in direct motion. And so we are going to be feeling this acceleration of time, right? And the big news, of course, is that we are transitioning from 2024 to 2025. And so I wanted to just also let you know that I will be offering a Preparing for 2025 astrology, a series of courses. And the first one of that will be Making Medicine from 2024. And so look for that. I'm going to be offering that, I think, most likely the very last weekend of December. And so look for that, and I will put out a notice of that soon. And I'm going to also be announcing my calendar for 2025. I'm very excited about what's coming up. And Saturn will be moving out of my 12th house for a spell. I'm very excited, into the first house. And so you're going to be seeing more of me. All right, sending so much love, and may you have a beautiful, blessed month. We really are moving into a new time, and I continue to see and feel that we are in a field of miracle and mystery. and that the focus of our intention and our attention is increasingly essentially important, and the rigor that we apply to being very conscious of the quality of our thoughts. And I would say that number one. And then number two, being increasingly aware and conscious of the quality of our feelings and being first and foremost authentic and honest about where it is that we're coming from, and being more conscious and aware of what's happening within ourselves so that we can tend with love and presence to those areas within ourselves is going to be increasingly important and has a massive impact on all those around us. So keep shining your lights, beautiful souls. I love you. And this is my December oracle.